This is Unit B601 GCSE revision on the topic of miracles. The definition of a miracle is an extraordinary and welcome event that is not explicable by natural or scientific laws and is therefore attributed to a divine agency, i.e. God. There are lots of miracles that happen in the Bible. In the Old Testament, actually, there are not that many miracles. The story that has a lot of miracles is the story of Moses. For example, Moses parted the Red Sea when he was enabling the Hebrews to escape the Egyptians. When confronting Pharaoh, Moses completed a number of miracles, turning sticks into snakes. These miracles from God were obviously there to help the people of Israel escape from the Egyptians. They weren't just like a magic show, they had a clear purpose. And God, in this case, was showing his care for them through the miracles. So the miracles were for the purpose of actually helping the Hebrews escape and start a new life. For a religious person, miracles are a sign of God showing his power and care for individuals or groups of people. The question is, did these miracles happen? Are they simply literary devices to express ideas about God? Jesus and miracles. Jesus did a number of miracles. He did miracles over nature. This is when, for example, Jesus stilled a storm by telling it to stop. He walked on water. He multiplied fish and bread. These are called nature miracles. There's another area called physical healings. And this is where Jesus basically healed blind people, told paralyzed people to get up and walk, and gave deaf people their hearing back. He even had a couple of miracles over death, and where he healed and called a dead man from the grave called Lazarus, and also a young girl he brought back from the dead. And ultimately the biggest miracle, it would be argued from a Christian perspective, is that he came back from the dead himself. This is known as the resurrection. Also, he seemed to have authority and power over spiritual forces. Jesus drove a number of spirits from a man who was said to be possessed into some pigs. He healed a man of spirits, and this man then came back into his right mind. So here are some of Jesus' miracles. You have one picture here. This is from the artist Bloch, and he represented the man who was paralyzed as Jesus then healed him of his paralysis, telling him to get up and walk. You have another miracle here where Jesus calls Lazarus from the grave after 3 days, his power over death. Here is one, the healing of blind Bartimaeus, giving again him sight after years, in fact, of never being able to see. Now these are obviously artist representations, but they show clearly that in the stories of the Gospels, Jesus actually was said to have completed a number of miracles. Obviously, from a Christian perspective, the biggest miracle is this one here, which is the story of Jesus becoming alive again after death and being seen, which you could argue is the pivotal miracle for all Christians. So what did or do these actually miracles mean, these stories about miracles? Well, some say there are miracles were like signs that Jesus was God. Some say miracles showed people that God was almighty and had power over everything. And also miracles were used to show how much God loves people. Christians and miracles today. Some Christians believe that God still does miracles today, and they believe this because Jesus said to his followers that they would be able to do greater things than this, what he actually did. Some Christians believe that Jesus could do miracles, but we cannot, or Christians cannot today, as they are not Jesus. Other groups think that miracles are God's way of intervening in the world today and actually doing something about it. Some Christians believe that the miracles in the Bible never actually really happened. They're just there to reflect how important Jesus is. Some Christians even claim to have seen or even experienced a miracle themselves, thereby believing that miracles still happen today, and they're living proofs of that fact. How Christians perceive miracles today is very much down to whether they believe the Bible should be taken literally and accept the miracle stories as evidence for real miracles still happening. However, there are others who don't read the Bible literally and therefore do not read the text and think miracles really happened. They think they have another possible spirit meaning. There are some alternative ideas about miracles. That these miracles were recorded by people who didn't understand science, that if they happened today, science would be able to explain these miracles. The writers of the Gospels were actually trying to present Jesus as a prophet and a miracle worker, and these stories, although untrue, help create that idea. We don't believe today that people can be possessed by spirits. We would explain it in medical terms or psychological terms, or a term like schizophrenia would seem to suggest that some people, what they used to think were having spirits, may well have had a medical condition. And these miracles could have just been an ancient literary device to explain that Jesus was special and should actually be listened to. So these are some alternative ideas about miracles and how they be interpreted. Finally, the resurrection of Jesus. For Christians, this event seems to be the foundation, and it could be argued that their very foundation is based on one big miracle. This is the miracle of Jesus coming back to life after death. This belief for Christians is the foundation that there is life after death. Without the resurrection, it could be argued that Christianity would not really be the faith it is today at all.